back with you this evening, YouTube. I thought I would share with you what I've been doing this evening. That's what I've got done. I've got one more shelf to put in between those two. And the other ones are done. I have to notch out the cover there. It goes back in there. Get that done. Everything else is done. I mean, it's went together pretty good. I didn't get started until after supper, so it's a little after 9 now, I think. So I'm happy with it. It's going together pretty good. So can't complain too much. I have to saw one more shelf out of that for this, and then I'm going to saw a shelf for this that I've been missing for a while. So get both of those in there and this thing will be done. I like it. Alright, well, I'm going to get back to, I don't know if I'll do any more, or maybe just call it quits for the evening. I don't know yet. We'll see. Alright, back with you one more time. I decided to go ahead and finish it up. So there it is. All 3 shelves are in. I don't know if you noticed or not, but they pretty well match the same height as these over here. So, and I did cut that extra shelf there for that. So that's all done now. Well, it's not done. I'm going to screw it in. But I mean, it's in there. So, pretty happy about that. That gives us all the shelves are in. All the wood is cut. All the work is done, except for putting that piece back in there. What I'll have to do is put it in there and notch it out. So that's what we'll do. I said all the wood's cut, so I guess it's not all cut, is it? Alright, we'll come back with you after we get that done. Alright, there you can see we have the piece in there now. I've got a couple screws on this side. I'm going to put some on the other side now. Yeah, it fits pretty good. It's not perfect, but you know what is, like I say. May take a couple of these little pieces here and piece in the pieces there, just to make it look a little bit better. I may not, you never can tell. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. So that's pretty much it. Morning YouTube. I have a lot to get through this morning, so I'm going to get right to it. I have this to clean up. Yeah, it is a messy bench. Got this to clean up, and this is the aftermath of this project right here. So that's what that mess is from. So let me get on with it. Also on this video, I'm going to cover an item there sitting on the right there box I received in the mail already this morning. It was out there when I got up this morning. It was already out there. So we'll cover that, and we're going to talk about this VSDC video editor. Likes, dislikes, go over that a little bit. So stay tuned. Alright, here we go. I have the bench cleaned up somewhat, and this is the job I started yesterday. The transistors that I believe it was Stan sent me some time ago, I had never actually gotten them around to classifying or labeling or whatever you want to call it. And so that I started this yesterday, but I'm not going to get it finished today. So this is a job that's going to have to be done. So, alright, moving on to the next thing. Alright, as I alluded to earlier, I got this in the mail this morning. I got on the computer like I always do. Well, first thing I did, I called my mom. I call her on Saturdays and talk to her for a little while. And like I say, the computer, I got it booted up and got to looking around. And I wanted to check on my progress of the things I had ordered. And lo and behold, this had been delivered. Somebody got out awfully early and put it in the parcel locker at the mailbox. So this is what it is. is, in case you can't tell, package from Antique Electronic Supply. That is the, am I getting this in? I think so. The tube AM transmitter that I ordered, it got here pretty quick. So that's going to be on the agenda here very shortly. I don't know if it'll be today or not, but it's going to be on the agenda. I just thought I would show you that I did get that. Also, in the mail today, when it runs on the regular time, supposedly it's out for delivery anyway, the resistor assortment that I ordered a couple days ago is here. So I'll have those too as well later on today. So that's that. Now on the editor, not really sure how to go about this. Let me see if I can do this. Put it up on the computer screen. Maybe you can see it. Alright, you should be able to see that now, I think. Just playing around a little bit with the camera mount there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my big head in the way here or not, but I'll try not to. If I could move this over here out of the way a little bit, that might help. There. Alright, the VSDC editor. Okay, yeah, it is free. It is. And it does work. You guys saw the video I made with it. Gonna go over a couple of things that do not suit me. I've got to get rid of these notifications. I did this once before on my other computer and I can't remember how I did it. Anyway, like I said, it's not a bad editor at all, but there's a main big problem with it, and the problem is the preview. Now, most editors that I've worked with, anyway, have the preview built into basically the timeline. In other words, when you click on the timeline, play on the timeline, it shows you the preview of what you got. Well, this editor doesn't do that. It has a separate preview screen that you have to pop up, and that makes it very difficult, or at least for me. Some people that maybe used this type of editor before might go along with it, but I just find it almost impossible to use because of that reason. Because you know when you make changes to your video, fades, where you join two clips together, whatever the case is, you basically want to see what it looks like right away. Well, okay, you can click on the video preview and it comes up, and it'll come up from the cursor position, but you know, translating that, you know, if you don't see it moving on the timeline as it goes down, and it doesn't do that, then you have no idea of where to go in to make your cut. You have to basically play around with it to get it to the exact point, and then you know. But that's a major stumbling block for me anyway. Now I can use it, obviously I did. It took a lot longer to do than would with Shotcut, but anyway, that's one problem. The other problem is on the timeline, instead of seeing audio and video, you only see the video. You don't get to see your waveform, you know, underneath it like most editors have. But there's where they get you at with this one, because with the paid version, which is actually $20, is not that expensive, but you get to see that waveform along with the video. They put both on there, so that's one of the catches for gets you to upgrade. Which, you know, I understand that, but at the same time, you know, that's just it's not a good way to do it. Now, this does have some extra features. Has conversion tools. It has basically screen capture, screen recorder included with it. It's not a bad editor. I'm not, you know, these things that I'm telling you that I don't care for does not make it a deal breaker. I mean, you know, especially for, this thing is so many magnitudes above Windows Movie Maker. This thing does everything. I mean, green screen, all that stuff it does. It does a very good job. It's just a little bit clunky as far as the interface. It's my way of thinking anyway. And I think before I buy it, I'm going to find out if they ever plan to incorporate the preview into the timeline. And if they don't, then I probably won't get it, because to me that's just one of those things that is a deal breaker for me. You know, for you it may not be. I don't know. I'm just trying to point it out so that you can see what I'm talking about. Best thing to do with any editor or program, for that matter, is it's free, download it, and try it out. You know, right there, you know, download. I'm going to click on that because I'm going to put it on this computer also. But like I said, it's just that's the only right way for you to know if you like it or not. So, things I do like about it, like I said, it's powerful. It will do just about anything you can be done in other, you know, more expensive editors, and that is a nice thing. Like I said, almost all of the features are available in the free version. Now, there's another thing they disable in the free version is hardware acceleration and rendering. Now, so far I've used it a couple of times to render a couple of videos, and it doesn't seem that bad to me. You know, so you know, I can do without that. That's not a big deal to me. But of course, I haven't tried it with it, so I don't know. But as far as what I can tell, it's no different than, you know, time-wise in Shotcut. So, you know, or for that matter, Sony Movie Studio. It's about the same as that. So, like I said, it does have a lot of pluses to it. Again, you know, download it, look at it, play around with it. Doesn't cost a thing to do that. And if you're you know, like me, like you like to, this was another one of those items in the best free software program videos that I saw. This is the 2018 version, I think. But it's a nice editor, and you know, I can't complain too much about it because it's free. But like I said, there's just a couple things that I don't like about it, and that's my feelings on it. Okay, so I've covered that pretty good, I think. The best thing, like I said, is you guys do check it out yourself. If I had it up on this computer, I would show you a little bit more, but I don't have it at the moment. Let me pause the video, and maybe I can bring this up, and it's just about done just downloading. So, alright, once you get this thing installed and you run it, this is what you're greeted with, the Explorer Pro solution. Just basically, if you obviously don't want to do that, just click on that. It gets out. This is our opening thing. You have a blank project, create a slideshow, import content, video capture, and screen capture. So you have all that there to play around with. So basically, I always do is blank project. And on this, you can just basically name it and get your resolution that you want set. About the only two things that you have to worry about, maybe the frame rate. It's got 360p on here somewhere. 640, there it is, right there, 16 by 9. That's it right there. But anyway, 30 frames per second. That's what I click on, and there's what it brings up, and that's nice looking. Now, normally on your things, this would be your preview screen. In other words, anything you did down here in the timeline would appear here, and you know, if you click it here on the timeline, well, that would show up right there, and you would click on the let's see, there's the play. But now on this one, you click on play, it just moves one frame, and you have to click up this to bring up that preview screen. Obviously there's nothing there. And this is, for some reason, it's set to repeat. I don't know why, but you have to turn that off. But anyway, that's that. And like I say, that's one of the things I just don't like about this. But it's a very full-featured editor. You've got all the menus up here, all the different anything you want. It has export. You know, it will export all to different places: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's just about anything you want, or just will go to MP4 and stuff like that. It's pretty easy to use, but now you have to, like I say, when you export it, it will tell you the first time that you can't use the hardware acceleration, so you have to actually go into the settings and disable the hardware settings to where it won't use that function, and then it will export. So that's not real clear on how to do that either. So it may be in the what do you call it? You know me, I don't read anything about anything. So anyway, that's just a quick look at what the interface looks like. You can full screen it too. I kind of like doing that better. But again, or export your PC, DVD, iPhone, iPad, and web. Like I said, it's all the different ways you can export it. And to import your video, you just add video right there. You know, it's easy to do. But like I said, that's what it looks like. That's what the interface looks like, and don't want to save it. So that's what, I don't have sound on this yet. I have the speakers are in the other room. I haven't put them on here yet. So that's one of the reasons I'm not using that yet. But eventually I may try to use this over here to do some video. But alright, that's that. Alright, where are we with this? We're at the same spot we were. Since I made the video yesterday and had the checking the transistors, I found out that one of these leads, and I don't even know which one it is yet, are not working. So when I plug the transistors directly into the tester, they both tested fine, so I put them back in. I did, in the meantime, I had used the 2N2222s and tried those out. I get the same exact results with those in here as I did with them. So, you know, it's obviously another problem somewhere in here. I would say, just a guess, it's probably in the wiring. I don't think any of the components are bad. I just think it's maybe, you know, I know Bob did this, you know, on a strip board, which is fine, but you know, unless you get your separations between the strips and then you wire something in, you know, that could be a problem. But I do plan on tracing this out and finding out where the problem is, but that's going to have to come later on. Actually, I think I'm probably going to do a little resting today. I pretty wore out after I did the shelves yesterday. I did those late in the evening after supper. I had hadn't gotten done things that I wanted to get done, so I wanted to go ahead and get those done while I had the free time, and I did work on them rather hard last night to get them done. And one of the things I did not show on this earlier is this shelf up here, right here, that I put in. That was what was left over from the boards that I just bought. I had planned on doing that because I needed a shelf up there, and so now I have full shelves up this way, and I've already started putting stuff up there. It don't take long, people. But like I said, this is the other. I showed you this already, but I'm going to show it to you again because I'm rather proud of it. Like I said, that's the other shelf that I got. Let's see if I can turn the light on, maybe you can see a little bit better. I don't really know if that helps a lot, but like I said, it's got the basically the same level as the rest of the shelves on my bench set up here. The top one, the middle one, and there's one there, and of course the desktop's right below that. I haven't totally finished this, but you know, it's done enough to where I can start using it, and I'm going to put some braces on it because it's a little bit bigger than any of the other shells I've got as far as the length of it. You know, from going from there to there. So that's a little bit different than I'm used to doing. So I'm going to put some braces on it, and may mess with that today. I don't know. It just depends on how I feel. Right now I don't feel like doing it. But I almost fell asleep sitting in my chair this morning when I was watching videos, and I got to try to catch up on some of them too. So this, I meant to say this at the beginning, but this may be a long video. I don't know if I'm going to try to include all this stuff in here in the same video or not. But if it is, it is. You know, not much I can do about it. I want to get this out of the way and get on to the next one. Oh, I know what the other thing is I got to do. Hang on a second. Alright, as promised, I am getting this out. And it's going to be one of the next things I'm doing. I have the tubes out now. I don't know if you remember me testing a couple of tubes on the my tube tester, but the ones I tested were in fact the ones from this condenser checker. The 1629 is the I tube, and the 1626 is the I hesitate to call it amplifier, but you know what I'm talking about. The I don't know exactly what you call it, but anyway, the other tube is the 1626 rectifier, maybe. I can't remember. It was a rectifier. Anyway, Robert, who we remember from the oscillator, is going to send me most of the stuff I need for this. All of the resistors that have to be replaced. He's sending, I think, 2-watt resistors for these. The caps, there's 3 precision caps. There's a 2 microfarad and a 0.2 microfarad and a 200 picofarad precision caps that go for this, and he's sending me all of those, and very generously offered to do that. And this is the big 2 microfarad cap under here. Now I don't know why these have to be precision, but they do, and so I'm not going to complain too much about it. All these ones here I have, I think, in stock already, and like I said, any of the other resistors that need to be replaced, I can replace those. I don't really think there's one there, but I will be checking all of those and you know, replacing as necessary. I'm going to flash the notes that I'll be following along with this video, and I'll paste those up on the screen so you can see. And I'll try to, if I remember, to put a link into the description to where it goes to the notes for this on restoration of this unit here. Not this transformer. This transformer, by the way, has been checked and it's fine. I don't know if you guys remember when I did the video, the initial video on this, I did check the transformer. So that's what we're going to be doing here very shortly, hopefully. You guys know how that works, right? I have big plans to do all this stuff, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So Gary and Jack, I think, was wanting to see it too. It's coming up. When? Well, you see what I've got going on here. Probably the next thing I do as far as working on the bench here is the little AM transmitter kit that I got in the mail. I mean, I want to play around with that and see if that works pretty good or not. I have parts coming also to make the AM transmitter that Rick McWhorter, All-American 5 radio, made, and that seemed to work pretty good. So I have that part. Also, I'm going to point this out about that kit while I'm at it. There is an oscillator, a coil that comes with that kit, and that's a rather expensive part. I'm going to put a picture of that on here as well. My plan for this is to, not this, but my plan for that coil is to put a connector on it where I can move that coil from one place to the other and use it in different projects. Now, if I find something that I want to keep, you know what I'm saying, if I breadboard something together and it turns out to something I want to make and put on a permanent, more permanent board, then I will buy another one of those. But until that time, there's no sense in buying another one. Those are $8.95 when you buy them, and really there's only one source that I've found, and that's the same place that kit comes from. It's the Antique Electronics Supply. Now there's a couple more listed if you Google it, but Amplified Parts, that's the same company as Antique Electronics Supply. I don't know why they have different companies like that. And there's another one also that you can just tell by the website that it's the same exact company, and if you look at the address, it's Tempe, Arizona, so it's the same place. But like I said, it's they're $8.95 just for the coil itself, and then I think it's $5.95 for shipping. So $8.95, that's $9, that's $15 right there just for that coil. So you know, if you've got a chance, like I think I can do, it's got 4 or 5 connections on it. Let's put a 4 or 5 pin connector on it, and then when I want to use it somewhere else, I can just, you know, do that and connect the connector up, and it's done. It's that's all I have to do. So gonna do that, and just want to go over that too. I'm about out of breath. Like I said, I know this is a long video, and I apologize for that, but I wanted to cover all this stuff at once if I could, and so that is gonna, I think, do it. The rest of the day, I think I may rest. I am pretty shot from doing all that yesterday. I worked pretty hard on that shelf. It may not show it, but I did work pretty hard. So also, the other thing that I wanted to mention here is these resistors are going to help me along with my project to let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, the other project I'm talking about is this. The resistors I have coming in the mail today will be used to restore, I should say, the resistors on this. Everybody I've talked to that's done one of these said that the old carbon comp resistors on these really go out of tolerance, and so I'm just probably going to go ahead and replace all of those, be done with it, and it will be back in shape. And then once that's done, I will calibrate it. Not a lot to do to calibrate this. Basically, you just set the setting for the line adjust and to get it to where it's supposed to be. And once you do that, it's pretty much calibrated. So I would like to get this, either get a new switch for this or rebuild this one. It's just very hard to press that down, and if I can, I may go ahead and try to rebuild that one, and if it don't work out, then I can get another one. I've already looked online. They are still available. So I just, like I said, it's just a really hard thing to do. So, but that is another thing I want to work on. So you guys see, I have no lack of projects here. I have lack of ambition sometimes, and lack of whatever else, spirit or whatever you want to call it, to do it. But I like I said, today I'm just not in the mood to do anything because of being tired. Probably it'd be better for me if I went ahead and did it, and you know, I would probably feel better in the end. But you know, as I feel right now, I think, you know, it's much better to rest. So anywho, like I said, that's about it. I think it's going to cover the whole video. If I try to think of something else in the meantime, I will add it to it. But I want to get all this out of the way. I know, like I said, this is a long video, and I apologize again for that. But this will cover everything. We'll be done with it, and get on to playing on the bench. And that's the main thing I'm going for here. All this is, you know, this... show you one more time. All of this here, and you can see it, that's the last I can do. There is no more room in this room for building on this bench. Okay, the bench is complete. There will be no more additions. I do have some plans to. I don't know how well you can see the dresser over there with my clothes hanging on it, and the cars on top of it there. That's going to be moved over here on. Well, you can't. It's out of your view. But basically, where the door is, I'm taking that door off the hinges. It's a stupid door. It doesn't need to be there. It's never used. And I'm going to put that in the cupboard there next to it. I'm going to put that dresser I was just talking about right there where that door is. It will fit. And then I'm moving the long, tall black cabinet from the kitchen into here into this corner in there. And that's going to give me... Oops, I keep pointing to you. Pointing to things, and you're not there. I'm going to put that long, tall black cabinet back here in that corner. And that's going to give me even more space for this. I'm trying to get everything I can out of this kitchen. Kylie is driving me nuts. She's not really driving me nuts, but she's just like when I went to go look for the Heathkit condenser checker. I couldn't find it. It was, you know, I thought maybe it was buried in some all that stuff. She's basically trying to straighten up in there, and it's just not working out the way I want it because it's moving my stuff around. I don't know where it's at anymore. I know she doesn't really think about that, but that's what that does when she does that. But anyway, I'm trying to get all that stuff out of her way and get it out of her reach where she won't be messing with it. And that's the whole goal of this project, to move everything in here. And I want to get everything moved in here. So that's down the road. That's not going to be anything that I'm doing here in the next few days or weeks. I'm not sure when it will be done, but that's my plan on the rest of the transformation, to move everything in here. So anyway, I think I have covered everything that I wanted to cover. If not, well, you know, I don't know what to tell you. This is my next bench project, I do believe. I want to kind of put this together and see how easy. I think Stan said he wanted to build along with me, and of course you have the option or ability or whatever you want to call it to build yours whenever, because once my video is posted it'll be there and you can just go along with it. So but like I said, all the parts are in there, and it looks like a lot of fun because basically it's basically more woodworking, what I've been doing, because you got that wood block in there and you have to drill that out and add your parts to it. It's just an interesting build from the norm. This would be back in the old days, when they talked about breadboarding. This is what they were talking about. Projects like this. This is where the term breadboarding came from. So you will get to see how that's done, and I hope it inspires some of you guys to play around with this stuff, because like I said, it's just a lot of fun. As far as an easy kit to build, this is one of the easiest ones, because like I said, you really don't have to have any skills. Basically, you just basically put a bunch of stuff on a board and connect it with clips, and it's really not that hard to do. So you get to see how that's done. So alright guys, I have rambled on long enough, and I'm definitely going to stop rambling now. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I have my work cut out for me, as you can see. So we will talk at you all later. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you.
That's all, folks.